Every time you drink a glass of plain water, yes, that supposedly healthy habit, you might be missing one of the most powerful opportunities to support your blood vessels, boost nitric oxide, and protect your performance. Surprising, right? Let us be clear, water itself is essential. Your body cannot function without it. But for men over 50, your hydration strategy should evolve just like the rest of your body does. As blood vessels stiffen, hormone levels shift, and nitric oxide production declines, what you put in your water can make a meaningful difference. Think of it as moving from basic maintenance to strategic nourishment. Nitric oxide, the molecule that relaxes and widens blood vessels, is your body's natural erection signal. Without enough of it, blood flow to the penis, brain, and heart becomes sluggish. The result? Fatigue, poor recovery, weaker performance, and a gradual decline in vitality. Research from Harvard and the National Institutes of Health has consistently shown that nitric oxide levels drop with age, in some men by more than 50% after the age of 40. And here is where it gets interesting. Science now reveals that certain natural compounds, when added to water, can dramatically enhance nitric oxide production, improving circulation, oxygen delivery, and even endothelial function, the lining of your blood vessels that keeps them flexible and responsive. In today's consultation, I will walk you through exactly why plain water may not be enough for men over 50, the science behind nitric oxide decline, and what you can safely add to your hydration routine to restore your energy, performance, and confidence. This is not about gimmicks or supplements promising overnight change. It is about understanding your body's chemistry, the aging process, and how small daily shifts, even something as simple as what you drink, can help you feel younger, stronger, and more in control. By the end of this session, you will know how to turn every glass of water into a simple, science-backed tool for supporting your circulation, your hormones, and your performance. Most men think hydration is simple, drink enough water, and your body will take care of the rest. But after age 50, the body's chemistry changes in subtle yet profound ways, and plain water no longer supports the same internal processes it once did. Let us break this down like I would with a patient in my clinic. When you are younger, your blood vessels are supple, your stomach acid is strong, and your saliva contains high levels of nitrate-reducing bacteria. These bacteria convert dietary nitrates from vegetables, for example, into nitric oxide, the molecule that keeps your blood vessels open and your circulation robust. But as you age, several systems begin to slow down simultaneously. Research from the National Institute on Aging and Harvard Medical School shows that gastric acid production decreases by nearly 40% between ages 40 and 60. This matters because nitric oxide formation relies on proper stomach acidity to activate nitrates and nitrites. At the same time, studies in the Journal of Gerontology reveal that the composition of oral bacteria shifts with age, meaning you may lose some of the very microbes that help convert nitrates into nitric oxide in the first place. Now add to that the fact that older adults often drink filtered or distilled water, which while clean, lacks trace minerals like magnesium and potassium that are essential for vascular tone and nerve signaling. In other words, plain water hydrates your tissues but does little to nourish your circulation. It is like washing a car without refilling the fuel tank, clean but not powered. This is why, for men over 50, hydration should be strategic. The goal is not just to replace fluids, but to support the chemical reactions that keep your blood vessels healthy and responsive. Think of it as upgrading your water from a passive drink to an active circulatory tool. A study published in Hypertension Research found that when middle-aged adults consume nitrate-rich water for 7 days, essentially plain water infused with natural vegetable nitrates, their blood pressure dropped significantly and endothelial function improved. The key insight here is that the vehicle of water can be used to deliver powerful bioactive compounds that enhance nitric oxide levels throughout the day. So when you drink plain water and expect improved energy or performance, you might only be meeting the body's basic need for hydration, not its growing need for circulation support. It is not about abandoning water, it is about enhancing it. A practical tip you can start today. Once or twice a day, mix your water with a small amount of beetroot powder, a few drops of lemon juice, and a pinch of sea salt. This simple combination provides nitrates, vitamin C to protect nitric oxide from oxidative breakdown, and minerals to assist vascular tone. It transforms every sip from simple hydration into an act of nourishment for your blood vessels. If this idea resonates with you, consider sharing this video or leaving a comment below. Let us open this conversation about smarter hydration and male vitality. When most men think about erectile strength, they immediately picture testosterone. And while testosterone is indeed a key player, it is not the starting point of an erection. The true spark, the very first domino that must fall, is nitric oxide. Think of nitric oxide as your body's open signal. It is a small gas molecule, but it holds enormous power. When released by the inner lining of your blood vessels, called the endothelium, nitric oxide tells the smooth muscles surrounding your arteries to relax. This relaxation allows more blood to flow into the tissues, including the penile chambers known as the corpora cavernosa. Without nitric oxide, those blood vessels remain tight, and even the highest testosterone levels cannot compensate for that restriction. A groundbreaking study published in the New England Journal of Medicine demonstrated that nearly 90% of all cases of erectile dysfunction have a vascular component, meaning the underlying issue is poor blood vessel flexibility and low nitric oxide availability. In other words, performance problems are often circulation problems. Now here's what the research shows. Nitric oxide production naturally declines with age, primarily because the enzyme responsible for making it, endothelial nitric oxide synthase, becomes less active. A study from the Mayo Clinic proceedings found that men in their 60s have nearly 50% lower nitric oxide levels compared to men in their 30s. Combine that with declining testosterone, oxidative stress, and endothelial stiffness, and you have the perfect storm for sluggish circulation. This is where the vicious cycle begins. Reduced nitric oxide means less blood flow, which means less oxygen and nutrient delivery to the very tissues that need it most. Over time, this weakens the vascular network in the penis, heart, and brain. That is why men who develop erectile issues often also experience fatigue, slower recovery, and even mild cognitive decline, all signs of impaired microcirculation. But the encouraging truth is this nitric oxide is one of the most reversible markers of aging. In clinical trials from the University of Exeter and NIH, when older adults increased their nitrate intake through foods like beetroot, arugula, and pomegranate, their nitric oxide levels improved within days, and endothelial function, their vessel flexibility, increased by as much as 21%. That means better blood flow, better oxygen delivery, and yes, stronger, more reliable erections. Think of your blood vessels like garden hoses. When they are young, they expand and contract easily. As they age, they stiffen and narrow. Nitric oxide is the molecule that keeps those hoses supple and wide open. The more consistently you support it, the better your circulation, not only to your sexual organs, but to every cell in your body. So when you add nitric oxide boosting ingredients to your water, you are not just hydrating, you are reactivating your vascular communication system. Every sip becomes a message to your body saying, stay open, stay flexible, keep the blood flowing. If this is helping clarify things, give it a thumbs up and keep learning. This small action supports educational content that empowers more men to take charge of their health. In the next section, we will get practical. We will explore exactly what you can add to your water to boost nitric oxide naturally and the clinical evidence behind each ingredient. Now that you understand why nitric oxide is central to circulation and sexual performance, let us talk about the practical side, what you can safely add to your daily water to boost nitric oxide naturally. The goal here is not to create a complicated formula, but to use research-backed ingredients that your body can easily recognize and use. Let us start with one of the most studied, beetroot. Beetroot is nature's richest source of dietary nitrates. When you consume it, your oral bacteria convert these nitrates into nitrates, which are then transformed into nitric oxide in the stomach and bloodstream. A clinical trial published in the Journal of Nutrition found that men who consumed beetroot juice daily for just 6 days experienced a significant increase in nitric oxide levels and reduced blood pressure. Another study from the University of Exeter showed that beetroot supplementation improved exercise endurance by 16% in older adults due to enhanced oxygen delivery to muscles. A simple way to use it: add half a teaspoon of beetroot powder to your water once or twice a day. It gives your drink a rich, earthy color and delivers measurable vascular support. To enhance absorption, pair it with a squeeze of lemon or lime because vitamin C protects nitric oxide molecules from oxidative breakdown. Next, pomegranate, often called the heartseps fruit. Pomegranate juice and extract have been shown to increase nitric oxide levels and protect the endothelial lining of blood vessels. Research from Urology Journal found that men with mild to moderate erectile dysfunction who drank pomegranate juice daily for 4 weeks reported improved erectile response and satisfaction. This effect is attributed to pomegranate's polyphenols, which help preserve nitric oxide and reduce oxidative stress in the vascular system. You can add a few ounces of pomegranate juice to your daily water or mix pomegranate powder into your hydration routine. Third, L-citrulline and L-arginine, amino acids that act as precursors to nitric oxide. L-arginine provides the raw material your body uses to synthesize nitric oxide, while L-citrulline helps sustain it by recycling L-arginine in your blood. A randomized controlled trial published in Andrology showed that combining these two amino acids significantly improved erection hardness and frequency in men over 50 who had mild vascular insufficiency. You can find them as natural powders that mix well into water or smoothies. Fourth, dark leafy greens such as spinach, arugula, and celery. You might not think of greens as a water additive, but blending a small handful into your hydration mix once a day can create a natural green nitrate water. A study from Queen Mary University of London demonstrated that drinking water blended with nitrate-rich greens for just 1 week lowered systolic blood pressure and increased nitric oxide metabolites in older adults. Lastly, consider trace mineral salt, specifically unrefined sea salt or Himalayan salt. It may sound simple, but the minerals in salt, magnesium, potassium, and calcium are essential for nerve transmission and vascular contraction. They help your arteries respond more dynamically to nitric oxide signals. A tiny pinch in your water not only improves flavor, but also supports the electrical communication between cells that keeps your circulation responsive. Think of this as building a vascular cocktail, one that works with your body, not against it. Each ingredient you add brings a unique mechanism. Beets supply nitrates, citrus preserves nitric oxide, pomegranate protects the endothelium, amino acids fuel production, greens reinforce it, and minerals stabilize the process. The result? A smarter hydration habit that energizes your entire vascular system from the inside out. This is not about instant effects. It is about restoring a physiological process that age has quietly slowed down. In the next section, we will uncover a surprising reason many men are unknowingly sabotaging their nitric oxide production, and it has to do with something as simple as mouthwash. This next insight surprises nearly every man I speak with in the clinic. You could be eating the right foods, adding beetroot or pomegranate to your water, and still blocking nitric oxide production every single morning without realizing it. How? By using antibacterial mouthwash. Let us break this down scientifically. When you consume dietary nitrates from foods like beets or leafy greens, those nitrates do not instantly become nitric oxide. They must first interact with specific bacteria living on your tongue and along your gum line. These beneficial bacteria convert nitrates into nitrates, the crucial middle step that allows your stomach acid and blood enzymes to turn them into nitric oxide. Now here is the problem. Most antibacterial mouthwashes, even those that promise fresh breath all day, contain compounds such as chlorhexidine, cetylpyridinium chloride, or alcohol. These chemicals kill almost every type of bacteria in your mouth, including the helpful nitrate-reducing species. A study published in the Journal of Clinical Investigation found that participants who used antibacterial mouthwash twice a day experienced a 90% reduction in oral nitrate-reducing activity. Within just 1 week, their blood pressure rose significantly and their salivary nitric oxide levels plummeted. Another study from the University of Texas Health Science Center linked daily mouthwash use with a higher risk of developing prehypertension and metabolic disturbances. In simpler terms, killing those bacteria shuts off the natural nitrate to nitric oxide pathway. Even if you are drinking beetroot-infused water, your body loses the ability to convert it into usable nitric oxide. It is like buying high-quality fuel but cutting the fuel line to the engine. Now, this does not mean you should stop caring for your oral hygiene. It means you should shift toward products that respect your oral microbiome, the ecosystem of beneficial bacteria in your mouth. Look for alcohol-free mouthwashes that contain natural enzymes, xylitol, or essential oils such as tea tree or peppermint. They help control harmful bacteria without wiping out the good ones. A study in the Nitric Oxide Journal demonstrated that when participants switched from an antibacterial mouthwash to a gentle herbal rinse, their nitrate-reducing activity rebounded within 7 days, restoring nitric oxide levels and lowering systolic blood pressure. That is a fast, measurable difference. Here is a practical takeaway you can begin today. If you use mouthwash, replace it with a mild rinse or simply rinse your mouth with water after brushing. You can also eat a small portion of nitrate-rich greens during the day to help repopulate those beneficial oral bacteria. Think of your mouth as the first link in your body's nitric oxide factory. When you protect that ecosystem, every glass of nitrate-rich water you drink becomes more effective. It is a small but powerful shift that keeps your vascular system open and your performance strong. If this insight resonates with you, share it in the comments below. Many men are unknowingly undermining their efforts, and awareness is the first step toward real progress. In the next section, we will connect the dots between nitric oxide, lifestyle, and hormones, exploring how sleep, stress, and testosterone form a biochemical triangle that either supports or suppresses your circulation. You can add all the right nutrients to your water, protect your oral bacteria, and still struggle with nitric oxide decline if your hormones, sleep, and stress are out of balance. These three forces form a powerful biochemical triangle that either amplifies nitric oxide production or quietly shuts it down. Let us begin with sleep. During deep sleep, particularly the phase known as slow-wave sleep, your body releases pulses of growth hormone and testosterone. These hormones do more than support muscle and libido. They also regulate the activity of an enzyme called endothelial nitric oxide synthase, which produces nitric oxide inside your blood vessels. Research from the Journal of the American Heart Association found that men who averaged less than 6 hours of sleep per night had up to 35% lower nitric oxide levels than those who slept 7 to 8 hours. Poor sleep also raises cortisol, the stress hormone that directly interferes with nitric oxide synthesis. So when you consistently sleep less, you are essentially instructing your body to tighten your blood vessels and conserve energy, the exact opposite of what you need for healthy circulation and erections. Next, stress. Chronic stress, floods your system with cortisol and adrenaline. These hormones are survival tools designed to keep you alert during danger, but when they remain elevated, they constrict blood vessels and reduce the expression of nitric oxide synthase. Over time, this not only blunts circulation, but also leads to endothelial dysfunction, where your vessels become rigid and less responsive. A fascinating study published in Psych Neuroendocrinology showed that even mild psychological stress can suppress nitric oxide production by over 20% within minutes. This is why relaxation practices such as breathing exercises, meditation, and even light walking after meals have measurable physiological effects. They lower stress hormones and allow nitric oxide to rise naturally. Finally, testosterone balance. Testosterone does not just influence sexual desire, it directly enhances nitric oxide signaling in penile tissue. It acts as a volume knob, amplifying the responsiveness of blood vessels to nitric oxide. When testosterone levels fall too low, even healthy nitric oxide production cannot fully activate erectile tissue. The Harvard Men's Health Watch reports that restoring testosterone to healthy levels in men with low T can improve nitric oxide sensitivity and endothelial function within weeks. But here is the key. Natural testosterone maintenance often comes back to lifestyle, strength training, adequate dietary fats, zinc and magnesium intake, and consistent sleep. All these factors create a hormonal environment that favors nitric oxide activity. Think of your nitric oxide system as a symphony. Nitric oxide itself is the melody, but hormones, stress, and sleep are the instruments that determine whether that melody sounds powerful or weak. When one instrument is off key, the entire performance suffers. Here's a practical approach you can begin right now. Prioritize 7 to 8 hours of restorative sleep. Avoid screens 30 minutes before bed and keep your room dark and cool. Incorporate at least 20 minutes of movement daily, even a brisk walk counts, and take 5 minutes during the day to slow your breathing. These small shifts stabilize stress hormones and allow nitric oxide pathways to function at their best. If this is connecting some dots for you, consider subscribing to this channel. This kind of evidence-based education helps men move from confusion to confidence, and it starts with understanding how your daily habits shape your biology. In our final section, we will combine everything into a simple daily routine, a practical plan that supports nitric oxide, vascular health, and long-term performance. Now that we have explored the science, it is time to put everything together into a daily, practical plan. Think of this as your nitric oxide roadmap. Small, sustainable actions that work synergistically to restore vascular flexibility, hormonal balance, and sexual performance after 50. Let us start with morning hydration. When you wake up, your body is in a mild state of dehydration. Your blood is thicker and circulation is slower. Instead of drinking plain water, begin with a vascular starter. Mix 1 glass of water with half a teaspoon of beetroot powder, a squeeze of lemon juice, and a pinch of mineral salt. The beetroot provides nitrates, the lemon preserves nitric oxide through vitamin C, and the minerals help your arteries respond efficiently. This drink primes your blood vessels for the day and begins nitric oxide synthesis early. Next, midday movement and recovery. Even gentle activities such as walking for 10 to 15 minutes after meals enhances endothelial function. Movement increases the demand for oxygen in your muscles, which in turn signals your blood vessels to release more nitric oxide. A study in the European Journal of Applied Physiology found that men who incorporated short walks after lunch or dinner improved their nitric oxide bioavailability by more than 20% compared to those who remained sedentary. At lunchtime, consider adding pomegranate or arugula to your meal or water. These foods are rich in polyphenols and nitrates that sustain nitric oxide throughout the day. You can mix a few ounces of pomegranate juice into sparkling water. It adds flavor and vascular support without added sugar. Now, the evening routine. As daylight fades, your body naturally begins winding down and stress hormones should drop. This is a good time for L-citrulline or magnesium-rich foods like pumpkin seeds or spinach. L-citrulline enhances nitric oxide by recycling L-arginine, while magnesium supports smooth muscle relaxation in blood vessels. Together, they prepare your circulatory system for restful sleep and overnight repair. Before bed, aim for a calm environment, dim lights, minimal screens, and gentle breathing. Your nitric oxide production during sleep depends on hormonal rhythm, particularly testosterone and growth hormone. A study published in Sleep Medicine Reviews found that even 1 week of consistent 7-hour nights raised nitric oxide metabolites and improved morning endothelial function. Now, a few daily reminders. Number 1. Avoid antibacterial mouthwash. Preserve those oral bacteria that convert nitrates to nitric oxide. Number 2. Stay hydrated but with purpose. Each glass is an opportunity to feed your circulation. Number 3. Manage stress. Even short relaxation sessions reset cortisol and allow nitric oxide to rebound. Number 4. Prioritize nutrient diversity. Greens, citrus, beets, and minerals should appear in your daily rhythm. When these habits come together, something remarkable happens. Blood flow improves, energy stabilizes, and confidence returns. This is not a quick fix, it is a biological restoration. The men who benefit most are those who treat this like long-term maintenance, not crisis management. So rather than asking, "What can I take for better performance?" ask, "What can I support every day to help my body do what it is designed to do?" Nitric oxide is not an external supplement. It is your body's natural signal for vitality. You simply have to give it the right environment to thrive. If this conversation has been helpful, give it a thumbs up and share it with someone who might need this clarity. Your engagement helps more men discover science-based information that replaces fear with understanding. Let us bring everything together. We began with a surprising truth that plain water, though vital, may not be enough for men over 50. Not because water itself is bad, but because your body's physiology changes with age. The enzymes, bacteria, and hormones that once made nitric oxide effortlessly now need extra support. Ignoring that fact is like using a map from your 20s to navigate a body in its 60s. The terrain has changed. Throughout this consultation, we explored how nitric oxide is the foundation of male vitality. It is the molecule that tells your blood vessels to open, that fuels your erections, nourishes your brain, and protects your heart. When nitric oxide levels fall, energy wanes, confidence fades, and performance becomes unreliable. But as we have seen, this decline is not permanent. The science is clear. Nitric oxide can be restored through daily, consistent choices. You learn how to transform your hydration from passive to powerful. By adding beetroot powder, lemon, mineral salt, and pomegranate, you turn each glass into a circulatory tonic. By preserving the oral bacteria that begin the nitrate conversion process, you ensure that every sip counts. And by managing sleep, stress, and testosterone balance, you create the hormonal harmony that keeps nitric oxide active around the clock. Here is the key message. This is common, it is manageable, and it is reversible. Erectile changes, slower recovery, and reduced stamina are not inevitable signs of aging. They are signals from your vascular system asking for attention. When you support nitric oxide production, you are not only improving performance, you are improving the quality of your life, your cognition, and your cardiovascular health. Think of this as tuning your body's internal orchestra. Every system, your blood vessels, your hormones, your nerves, must work in synchrony. Nitric oxide is the conductor that keeps everything in rhythm. When you nourish that conductor, your entire system performs beautifully. So here is your action step for today. Tomorrow morning, do not just drink plain water, add something purposeful to it, something that reminds your body you are investing in your health. Start small, stay consistent, and observe how your energy and confidence begin to shift over time. You do not have to be afraid of your body, you just need good information. When you understand how your body truly works, you can take charge of it with clarity and respect rather than fear and frustration. Stay curious, stay informed, and I will see you in the next one. If you found this helpful, subscribe for more grounded, evidence-based content designed to help men over 35 reclaim their strength, protect their prostate, and restore their vitality without gimmicks, shame, or misinformation.